everyone, welcome to Club UX. In this interaction design series, today we are going to discuss the difference between interaction design and user experience design. We have already discussed in detail a lot about interaction design in some of our other videos. Do check out those videos if you want to learn in detail about interaction design. Okay, so interaction design is about creating conversation between the product and the user. Interaction design is about creating these small moments of interactions. User experience is made up of all these small moments of interactions, which ultimately leads to an interactive product which is easier to understand, easier to use, and efficient. Interaction design is a subset of user experience design. Okay? Looking for more? Let's understand it with the help of certain examples. But before we move ahead, let's first of all understand what is user experience design and what is interaction design. Let's go basic. UX refers to user experience. User experience refers to the interaction a user has with the product and the experience that they get by interacting with it, which can be good or bad. User experience design is about designing a product or service that is useful, easy to use, and delightful to interact with. Interaction design is designing interaction between users and products. The ultimate goal of interaction design is to create products that allow users to achieve their objectives in the most efficient way. Let's suppose that you decide to purchase a product online from a website. Let's suppose that you decide to purchase a t-shirt from Amazon.com. How would you buy the product? You will look out for some interactive option, for example, add to the cart button or buy now button, in order to purchase the product and add it to your cart or buy it. Now, it is the job of the interaction designer to make sure that which button would be most optimal for a user to use on a website. And then it is the job of the interaction designer to make sure that these options are placed in such a way on the website or the page which is easier for user to find it and then interact with. Now let's suppose that once you click on add to the cart button, the page fails to load, or it asks you multiple questions before adding the product actually into your cart, or it takes you to a completely another page. Won't it lead a bad taste into your mouth? Or in other words, it would lead to a bad user experience or a bad taste into your mouth. While it is the job of the interaction designer to make sure that the way user interacts with the product or service is easier, it is the job of the interaction designer to make sure that the conversation that happens is easier for the user to understand and the website, the interface, or the product to understand. It is the job of the user experience designer to make sure that the overall experience that the user has with the product, in this case Amazon.com, is efficient, and the number of the steps that user is taking to perform the task, that is in this case to add a t-shirt into their cart or buy it, is reduced. The interaction designer has nothing to do with the size, the font, the aesthetics of the website, nothing at all. All they have to make sure that all these interaction points are in such a way that user finds it easily and the interaction, the conversation that happens between the user and the product is easier. Okay, let's take another example. Let's suppose that you visit an ATM machine in order to check your balance or withdraw your balance from it. There can be three ways by which a user can interact with the ATM machine. It can be with the help of voice command, or number two, with the help of touchpad, or number three, by using the touch screen. Now, first, it is the job of the interaction designer to first of all decide which one would be the most optimal way of interaction between the user and the machine. Number two, after deciding which is the most optimal way of interaction point, it is the job of the interaction designer to make sure that the conversation that happens between the user and the product is in such a way that it is easier for the user to understand and for the ATM machine as well. Interaction designer is all about creating a conversation between user, which is in this case you, and the product, which is in this case ATM machine. Interaction designer has got nothing to do with the layout, with the aesthetics, with the overall design of the ATM machine. It is the job of the user experience designer to make sure that the ATM machine is designed in such a way that the overall experience that you get by interacting with it is pleasant. User experience design is all about creating these small moment of interactions which ultimately leads to a beautiful user experience. What I said in the beginning, interaction design is a subset of user experience design. User experience design encompasses interaction design. Designing good interaction design would ultimately lead to a great user experience. UX design deals with all end-to-end user-facing aspects of the product, which includes touch, feel, customer service, and interacting with the product. Now, in bigger organizations, the job of interaction designer and user experience designer might be different. However, in smaller organizations or in startups, the job is done by a single person, by the same person. Interaction designer as well as user experience designer have to follow UX design process whenever they go on and design a product or a service. The difference lies is that while a user experience designer starts on from early on from the UX design process, starting from research, defining the problem, coming up with the solution and so on, interaction design comes up later into the UX design process. They have to collaborate with the UX designer to understand what the problem is. Once they understand the psychology of the user and understand what the problem is, this is how they can come up with how to design the conversation that can happen between the user and the product. The fact that job responsibilities of a UX designer and interaction designer kind of overlap doesn't mean that you can be a good interaction designer if you are a good UX designer, and vice versa. You can learn in detail more about the responsibilities of an interaction designer in one of the videos which we have created before. The link is in the description box. So guys, in this video we discussed about how user experience design and interaction design differs from each other. We have more videos for you where you can learn about interaction design in detail. You can check out our website yukti.io and will find out a lot of articles on the topic. You can ask me any question if you have on this topic. Make sure that you subscribe to our channel and keep watching more videos.